Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to High Value Wives. Hello. We have a very interesting topic today, guys. So, y'all get on in here. For all my high value wives and future high value wives, we need to talk, regardless of which one you are. If you're a wife, you need to know this. If you are an aspiring wife, there are things that you need to know. And I saw a video on Facebook that we're going to break down and that we're going to learn from. And the woman that we're going to learn from in this video, now it's not to bash her, but sometimes um, we have to observe the mistakes of others, and we have to talk about it so that we can learn from those mistakes. And so tonight, I have a special guest with me. Her name is Taquana. Taquana, how are you tonight?
I am good. I'm good. I'm blessed.
Awesome. So, y'all, I met Taquana in the comments of the video that we're going to look at. And I loved her comment so much. And last minute, I was trying to look for your comment because I wanted to like share it. But I saw her comment, guys. And in that comment, she mentioned she had a podcast. And I'm like, okay, so she liked to talk online too. I'm going to reach out to her and see if I can get her on the panel. So I reached out and she was down. So Taquana, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your platform.
Okay, so my name is Taquana Fisher, and I am the founder of Flawed for Purpose. And basically, my brand represents women. I'm trying to empower women. I have a panel of 6 ladies that are going to be co-hosting with me. And we're just going to be trying to empower women through our experiences, talk about everything we've gone through, different trending topics, such as yourself, how you talk about different things trending. And that's about it. We're just trying to make a difference any way that we can. We're all flawed. The meaning behind the title is flawed for purpose, because we all have flaws. No one is perfect, but we are flawed for a purpose. And finding our purpose, that's what we're supposed to be spending our time doing. If we're doing that, then we probably wouldn't have to worry about being in nobody else's business.
Right. Awesome. I like the name, especially pointing out that we're all flawed, because my platform, I'm aiming to address the flaws that we women have, because we do have flaws, and we've been getting away with them flaws for a long time. And, just because we are flawed and imperfect, it doesn't give us a pass to not like work on ourselves. And
Right.
so that's the purpose of my channel. The reason why it's called High Value Wives, because it's for women who want to bring higher value to their relationships, not low value, not average, but we want to do our very best because we want to make our marriages last. So this video in particular caught my eye. I was just scrolling on Facebook.
Me too.
I came across the video, and oh my gosh, even in the beginning when the husband was saying, let's go, when she said, or, she continued talking to the officer, I already knew it's about to go left. It's about to go all the way left. And I'm like, okay, let me get comfortable for this. So,
Right.
So guys, we have already seen the video. So we are going to show the video now for those of you who have not seen it. So 1 second, let me share my screen here.
Please show some respect so I can show you some respect. No. You know how these officers are. Please, sir. I'm just trying to get their corporate number. They won't give me any names or anything. I came in here.
We said leave.
Okay, go, baby. Let me talk to you real quick. Let me talk to you real quick.
For what?
Okay, just to stop it right there. Now, you see, first mistake. He's like, we finna leave. Grabs her arm. She's like, I just want to talk to him real quick. And I'm like, what? No. See, and this is how, mind you, when you guys pay attention, to the video, you'll see he might be a little tipsy. And I think this was like 3 a.m. in the morning. And we know, like, if we at the Waffle House or IHOP at 3 a.m. in the morning, we probably done been out and had a few drinks. Either way, sometimes your husband can sense when something bad is coming. So he may say, okay, let's wrap it up. Let's just go. The wife says no. Now, As you continue to watch this video, what I'm gathering is maybe he was already going to be placed under an arrest. So they might have not have been able to leave, but because I think he's being arrested for disorderly conduct, but it's still principle at the end of the day. You know, if your husband is saying, let's go, it's time to go. I'm going to play the video. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I think you summed it up. That was the first thing that stood out to me. And then also when she grabbed away from him, that's also giving the police officer that she was speaking to more of an opportunity to continue on with the conversation. You know what I mean? Don't show any discord between the two of you, and it's already a hostile situation. The snatch away got me. I was like, girl. So, yeah.
Lord. Okay. All right, y'all, let's get back into it.
Okay, so let me explain to you. When I came in here, I was sitting outside for 2 minutes. And when I came in here, I asked for a corporate number. They didn't want to give me any information. He asked me whether he was serving. He said, let me come back in and sit there and make an omelet because they said they're not serving. When he came back in, he said that they're not serving bacon. So he said that he got irate with him because he asked him, he said, I don't want bacon, I want an omelet. So at that point, I'm like, can I just get a corporate number? Nobody will give me. He told me his name was John. She said she don't have to give me her number. She goes on business. There's no, I've been in business for 15 years. Right down the street here. That's not how you deal with customers. If I'm asking for a number.
That's true though. And I saw the whole thing.
Exactly. So what am I supposed to do? So she still won't give me her name. That's not what she's doing a business. I want her name and his name so I can call corporate. Ain't nobody saying they killing anybody. The lady was here the whole time.
You yell at me.
But she was here the whole time.
Yeah.
She was here the whole time.
You yell at me, I'm gonna yell back. He's gonna cooperating.
Now, did you catch what the husband said? He just said, if you yell at me, I'm going to yell back. So got to pay attention to stuff like that because they want you to believe that, oh my God, like he just being arrested for eating pancakes at IHOP. You guys will hear that at the end of the video. The lady filming is like, so he's being arrested for eating pancakes, or he's going to get shot for eating pancakes, all this over No. All this because of your behavior, you know. So I want to point that out also, that maybe, and like I said, maybe he's had a few drinks, but there was a disagreement. There might have been some shouting between him and the waiter, hence why the police needed to be called in the first place. Now, when I first saw this video, I didn't catch that. I caught it like the third time I watched it. I said, oh wait, he just said, you yell at me, I'm gonna yell at you. So there was yelling involved. So this isn't the waiter side of the story. Now this is his side of the story. This is what he's telling the officers.
Right.
So, okay, let's get back into it.
But you disrespected him. But no, wait a minute, but you disrespected him. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You just hollered at him.
Stop talking.
You just hollered at him.
I did holler.
Okay, that's why.
I'm in the middle of an investigation for a possible death threat.
And nobody death threat him. Did anybody hear him death threat?
Listen, man. That's why I'm investigating.
Okay.
And I'm posting this whole thing I'm posting. Nobody death threat nobody. He came in here yelling. He came in here yelling.
Don't grab me,
Don't
sir.
talk to him. Just talk to him.
Please, sir, don't grab me.
There was no death threat.
Just talk to him. Can you talk? Can you just listen to me?
Okay, but don't grab me, sir. That's all I'm asking.
So I need you to understand.
I'm listening. Don't grab me. I don't want to see
That's right. You just stop talking.
Why?
Because, sir, the way you screamed at him.
Why do you gotta talk?
Because why did you scream at him like that?
Will you let me finish? Will you let me finish so you can hear the whole? Will you let me finish so you can hear the whole conversation?
He's still hollering though.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Why? Ain't nobody do nothing.
Why y'all doing that?
Ain't nobody do nothing.
He didn't do anything.
Hold on.
Nardo, just let them do what they gonna do. Nardo, let them do what they gonna do.
I'm not resisting. Why you doing all that?
Nardo, can I
Why you
please
doing
talk
all
to my
that,
husband
man?
and tell him
I'm not
that
even
I'm just
resisting.
trying to calm him down.
Look,
I'm just trying to calm him down.
down.
Nardo!
Okay. And I also wanted to point out, he says he's not resisting, but clearly we're seeing, because being arrested, it's really simple. It's just a matter of putting your hands behind your back and doing this, and then they slap the handcuffs on. Even if 3 of them are on you, if you cooperate, you can successfully be arrested. So that's why it's important when you watch these videos. You have to watch people's actions, not what they're saying, because they'll say, "Oh, I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting." No, but from
You are.
exactly, So I just, because the wife isn't 100% at fault here. You do have the husband who is clearly not cooperating with the police, but as a wife, you can't control your husband's actions. You can only control your actions. So it's about to get really interesting. So let's get back into it.
Please, can you just don't tell him to stop? Nardo!
So wrong. That is so wrong.
Okay, and you see where she tried to, now you could be arrested too, because you're trying to interfere with an arrest.
But she should have did that in the beginning. See, it wouldn't have gotten to this had she just listened to her. Because like you said, I think he was already going to be arrested because there were comments saying they weren't going to let him leave. He tried to leave and they wouldn't let him leave. Okay, so I get that. But that's your husband. You know what makes him tick. You know what type of person he is. So I feel that he shouldn't have been left unattended while you're trying to explain and still argue with the waiter about the pancakes.
Right.
So we already know the dynamic of the police and how things escalate quickly. So at that point, I just feel like you have to make a choice. Is the point that you're trying to make to the officer, because I'm sure they were arguing way before, like you said, the officers got there. That's why they had to call them. I'm pretty sure your point was made.
Yes.
Or they didn't care. That's why they called the police. So you're still trying to push your opinion, and your husband's sitting here arguing with multiple officers.
Yes.
You have to know your mate. You know what makes them tick. Protect your husband.
I like what you brought out about, paying more attention to what's going on over here to your husband. And I feel like as women, sometimes like we really need to be right. We have this need to be right, and we got to prove our point, and you're going to hear what we have to say instead of choosing the route of peace and survival. Because I like that. I actually didn't even think about that. Yeah. While he's over there explaining to the police what's going on, for example, and I know hindsight is 2020. Nobody's perfect, but it teaches me that, like, if I ever find myself in a situation like that, which I doubt my husband doesn't do this, but just say hypothetically, if he did, I'd be rubbing his back like, okay, babe, it's okay. We'll leave. We can just go. Like, babe, let's just go. We apologize. Let's just, is it okay if we just leave now? We can leave. I am petitioning, to get us out of this situation. I'm seeking peace in this situation. Even if we were wronged, what if the waiter really did wrong us? But, what's more important, is it me and my husband getting home safely without being shot, without going to jail?
Right.
What's more important, so women, we have this need to be right. And this should be a lesson for us as we watch this. Like, hey, you got to explain your side to, the police officer, but because you want to be right, but look at what's happening now. Is being right that worth it? So, okay, let's get back into it.
That is so wrong.
Please stop. Please stop.
Let him do anything. Let him just hear eating.
Please stop. I'm trying to help you out. Please force like that. Please don't you
Sit down, man.
You about to sit down. He about to sit down. Please
Sit down,
Please
man.
don't do anything. Just sit down.
He should have sat down the first time. See, here's the thing. Like, your husband got himself into this situation where he's resisting, he's fighting. No, I don't want to be arrested. No, right? And I heard him say, okay, I'm about to sit down. And at that point, they're about to deploy the taser. And she's like, no, he's about to sit down. He's about to sit down. And no, ma'am, he should have sat down the minute that he was being placed under arrest. When they had him up against the wall, he should have did this behind his back, but he chose not to. And so our actions, they have consequences. Now the police feel like you're hostile. And hold up, I just thought of another point. You know, do you really expect us to believe that you guys were innocent? And because we didn't see the conversation between them and the waiter, right? But based on how your husband is acting right now in this moment, who would, if you were an officer, who would you believe? I'm believing the waiter. Look at how you guys are acting with us. Y'all, we're just investigating, trying to figure out what's going on. And I can tell, you know, and police officers, they've dealt with drunk drivers. They know what a drunk person looks like. They could probably look in his eyes like, yeah, he done had a few. They probably just got back from the club, you know? So if he's behaving like this, then how were you behaving before the camera cut on?
Yeah. Which is why, like you said, they called the police in the first place. It got loud, it got escalated, it got probably rowdy, because they're both, I think, they're both pretty vocal. So I'm sure she had a lot to say as well. I'm sure it was crazy. That's why they called. But and then all of those officers coming in, I don't know, just as a woman, and I've been in a position where I had a boyfriend, and we got pulled over, and his first thought was to be getting all hyphy and pumped. And I'm like, look, we're not doing this, because we're trying to get to where we need to go. I don't know why he stopped. I don't know why he stopped us either. But we're going to figure this out, and you're going to remain calm, because what's not going to happen is you becoming a victim.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to get shot. Not on my watch. Not with me. You can be with somebody else and they handle it like that, but not with me.
Right. Exactly. I just want to read a few comments. Barbara Hagens, hey. Diane says, hello, Ashley and guest. Taquana. And Glenda Smallwood says, hi, Ashley and Taquana. Hello. Glenda Smallwood, yes, what's more important is getting home without incident. Miss Skinny Jones, hey, girl. She said, don't resist. Absolutely. Barbara Hagens, he was not complying at all, Barbara. I'm glad you see it. Okay. Yeah. Dude was clearly on one. And we have to learn that there's consequences for our actions. And as a woman, you can make a situation a lot worse, because in these situations, like the police, they're human beings too. They get irritated, you know? So when you're like, first of all, I'm trying to place your husband under arrest. He's not complying. That's already annoying, right? I'm already getting upset, right? We rolling all on the ground. Then I have this woman trying to interfere with our arrest, and she's screaming in my ear. You know, you have to think about it. What would that do to you if you are, because you can really think of it as a fight. Like I'm in a physical like fight on the ground, trying to wrestle something and trying to, you know, place
the law at that. This is the law.
Right, exactly. And then imagine someone in your ear, just like a siren. That is going to heighten the situation. That's not going to bring calm. You know, it's like, I don't know what you're capable of. You know, as a wife, you're on his side. What if you have a gun? What if you have a knife? So now I'm worried about two things. I'm worried about this guy that we're trying to arrest. I don't know what he's got. Then his ride or die wife. There's no, what you gonna do? You know, we got our backs turned. You know, it's a lot to handle in that situation. I feel like people don't really think about the position that the officers are in, and there are things that probably wouldn't happen if you didn't have that agitator there making things a lot worse. Really quick, Devonna says cooperation is always best. Glenda Smallwood says being a statistic is not what they need. Stay calm and cooperate. Amen.
I like that. Stay calm. That's what I use in the comments. You're supposed to be the calm to his storm.
Yes.
You guys are both storming.
I love that. Exactly. You know, that's the beauty of being a real quick. Hey, Miss Kaya, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. That's the beautiful part about being a woman. Like, a woman is supposed to add that peace, that beauty, to your life, that calm. And you said the perfect calm to his storm. And right now we're in a storm. We're in a dang hurricane in this video.
At this point.
He doesn't need you to add, more chaos to that, more wind, more rain. You're supposed to be, babe, please, just put your hands behind your back. Just don't yell, but just do what you need to do to try to keep him calm. You know him better than any of us here. Mm-hmm. But yelling at the officer, Tom, don't hit him, don't tase him, ma'am. Tell him don't resist. Don't talk.
Exactly.
So we're gonna get back into it. Hold on, let me read these really quick. Miss Skinny Jones says Chris Rock addressed this exact thing on his show over 20 years ago. Miss Skinny, you got to send me that clip. I didn't see that one. Barbara Hagen says a very hostile situation from the beginning. Do you think that the wife thought that she was indeed helping him? No, I believe the wife wanted to be right.
Exactly.
If we look back, on our history, there was some situations where we just wanted to prove our point. We just wanted to be right. We didn't have the foresight to think, okay, what's more important, my safety or being right? So I don't think that she was helping, because think about it. If she wanted to help him, he tried to reach for her arm so that they could leave. If she wanted to help her husband, if you really want to talk about being a helper, now we're talking about submission. You want to help your husband? Then you listen to him in that situation. So no, Barbara, I don't think she did. What do you think, Taquana?
I don't think either. And we're just trying to hold her accountable. Like you said, we're not bashing. We've all been in situations where, still to this day, in situations where we want to be right and prove our point. You have to pick and choose what situations you want to do that in, though. It's about being a little wise, especially in the day and time that we live in, where he could have gotten shot right there. Mm-hmm. You don't know. They could have accidentally pulled out a gun versus the taser. Like, it just escalated, and people are getting shot for doing less than this.
Yeah.
So we're not saying, because I saw some comments where we should be able to speak our mind and, the police should listen to us. And but in this situation, no.
Yeah.
Because they were called for a reason. So somebody has to be wise here. Right. Neither one of them were wise. I'm not taking up for the husband either, because like you said, he is responsible for his own behavior. But this is a partnership. Mm-hmm. So both of you can't be storming.
Right.
Somebody's going to have to be wise. And in this instance, it should have been her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's just how I feel.
Exactly. Beautifully said. Lakeisha says, I believe she's the type of wife that doesn't listen to her husband, and probably been that way their whole marriage, because automatically when your husband says, let's go, usually a wife does so. Absolutely, Lakeisha. Unfortunately, this kind of gives us a little glimpse into your marriage. If we see your husband saying, let's go, and you don't go, it says something. It says something.
A lot.
Yeah. Tamika Peak says, these days you can't struggle with the cops. They kill innocent people every day. That's true. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. They don't know you. And I think this is where this wife and other people, other agitators have it twisted. You think because, okay, I know this person is a good person and they didn't do anything wrong and they're not going to, reach and try to shoot I know that. But do the police know that? They don't know any of you. And look at what they have to deal with day in and day out. And a lot of them have been shot at. A lot of their fellow officers have been taken out by people. It's difficult as a police officer being in these situations because they don't know who's good, who's bad, who's capable of what. So that when the police are dealing with you like this, it's really not, I don't believe it's personal. I believe that they just have to treat everybody the same way here because they don't know you. So the wife is like, no, don't do this. Don't do that. Wait, do this, do that. Ma'am, we're going to listen to you. We don't know this man. You know him. We don't.
And then to your point, sometimes but we don't know. But sometimes it is personal for the officers when it comes to Black people. I'm just gonna say it. So just like they don't know us, we don't know their intent either, because there are, racist cops. That's why I feel like you should treat them all the same, just like the police officers should treat civilians all the same.
Right.
We need to really just be wise because of, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, but because of the color of our skin. We don't know which one of those officers, they possibly don't like Black people. Now, the officer that took him down, that officer was on go. I don't know if you paid attention to him, but he was on go from the beginning. He did not want to be there, and he did not like the officer that first pushed him to get him to surrender, I guess. He was the shorter
one who grabbed him and had the first one who attempted to arrest him.
Okay. He was on go. I was looking at his body language, his face. He was ready. It was just a matter of time because he got tired of this. He was tired of all this. He was tired, which I get. But I think he was ready from the beginning.
And now I wanted to clarify something. When I say that it's not personal, I'm talking about as far as how they deal with people. Maybe just how they listen to your story, protocol, placing you under arrest. I don't think that part is personal. You do have racist cops out there, but I'm talking about how they're dealing with you. See, the wife doesn't agree that her husband should be arrested.
Right.
She's going based off of her knowledge of her husband.
Right.
The police aren't going off of that. So it's like, it's not personal in that area. It's just that he's being arrested for disorderly conduct. But maybe if I was his buddy, maybe if we went to college together and I saw, man, what you do? Come on, man, what are you doing? What happened? Because I know you, so maybe there'd be some leeway there, but the officers in this they're complete strangers, So sometimes as women, we can get in our emotions and think, oh, well, I know him. He would never. Oh, he's a good person. He's a good man. They don't know that. So you have to keep that in mind as you're reacting to it. Stay focused on your husband. Try to help your husband to remain calm versus trying to hold officers accountable for basically not knowing your husband and doing their job.
Except what they see here. And what they see here is him telling them in the beginning, don't grab me. Because he did say that. Don't touch me. He let them know from the beginning. So I think they knew they were going to get into probably this.
Okay, we're going to get back in the video. Let me read these comments really quick. Tamika Peak says, that's right. Some cops are racist. Devonna says, right. It's personal sometimes. Kaya says, thank you. So very true. I think she's talking to you, Taquana. She also says, what state is this in? You know what? It's so funny, Kaya. This happened in Marietta, Georgia. That's where I live right now. So this happened down the street. This is probably like 3-4 miles from me. It's it's at the IHOP, not too far away from me. So I found it even more interesting when I first saw the video. I'm like, wait, does that say Marietta? Is that happened right over here?
Right.
So interesting. Linda Smallwood says she thought she was helping him, but she made everything 100% worse, not taking up for either of them, like you said, but she needed to be the level-headed one. Yes. Tamika Peak, in this case, the wife should have been trying to ease the situation. She didn't help the situation. Amen. Let's see, last one before we get back in it. Lady Dre says, at the end of the day, we're all trying to get back home to our families. Hopefully this is a learning moment for the husband and the wife.
That part.
Unfortunately, I don't think it is. I think they're pursuing a lawsuit, and I think they woke up the next morning still with the same mind frame. We're victims. Oh, poor us. But the good news is that for everyone watching, this can be a learning lesson for us. Even if the person in the situation didn't learn from it, we can learn from it.
Absolutely.
Even though this is something that I don't think me and my husband would ever be in, it still just it makes me feel more self-aware of my actions when I watch it, from the outside looking in. It makes me more motivated to, I never ever want to be like that. I can never let myself go out,
Right.
So, all right, guys, let's get back in the video.
Stop it! You give him my taser!
No! Don't use force like that! Please!
for eating pancakes at the IHOP.
Right now.
Are y'all gonna shoot him? Are y'all gonna shoot him for eating pancakes at the IHOP?
Now, do you hear the lady in the background? She is asking.
Listen.
Come on.
Yeah, she got on my.
Are you going to shoot him for eating? No, ma'am, we're not. First of all, no, we're not going to shoot him for eating pancakes at the IHOP. That's not the reason
he's agitating from here on out. I think she like didn't stop. Wasn't she on go for like the next like 2 minutes or a minute?
And I'm like, oh my God, are you an idiot?
Right.
No, who's getting in trouble for eating pancakes at the IHOP? But this is like another side point, but this is part of why sometimes when women tell me their side of the story, I be looking side-eyed because I'm like, man, I wasn't there and you're really emotional right now. I don't know what's true and what's not true. But the woman recording that's yelling that, if she were to, when she goes home and she gives her side of the story, she's going to tell whoever that I watched a man get beat up by the police because he was eating pancakes at the IHOP.
Right. And a lot of the comments were saying that as well on that post.
Imagine.
Of course, we can't reply to everybody, but I'm like, people, did you watch the entire video? While you asking me, did I watch it? Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, but isn't that so funny how we can all watch the same thing, but we all have
different interpretations
ways that we saw, and it can start to make you question your sanity. Like if you read too many comments, like, wait, whoa, did I miss something? Was he just eating pancakes? And the waiter just thought, you know what? I don't like the way he eating them pancakes. I'm about to go call 911. Yes, we got a man up in here eating pancakes. Yes. You know, like just the logic. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Andrea says the older generation were more respectful and cooperative when dealing with the police, but the young generation of today have a lot of mouth and demand respect, but have no respect for authority. That is so true. Miss Guinea says, my husband and I have different views on the police, but we know you never resist. Amen. Right. Because resisting ain't never helped nobody.
You're always gonna lose.
The result is like, it's still jail. No matter if you put your hands behind your back peacefully or if you resist, the end result is the same thing. So there's literally no point in resisting. So if the officers were in the wrong, you know, you can make sure you have your camera on. Maybe people are recording. They have body cams.
Right.
There's another way that you can fight this, but you're not going to win physically with the police in that moment.
Jail or death.
Yes.
One of the two.
Yes. All right. Let's get back into it.
You're gonna shoot him!
Now, please put a handcuff on. Put a handcuff on, sir, please. Back up.
I ain't doing that.
Nardo, stop. Nardo, stop. Nardo, stop.
I can't. I cannot. Like, this was the part of the video where I'm like, can everybody just shut up? Like, please shut up. So now they're going nuts because now the police officers have thrown a few punches at him. So the police can use different kinds of force with someone who is not complying. So if they spend time wrestling, they done deployed the taser, they have to do whatever they have to do to get you in those cuffs. And sometimes it's like, you know, sometimes you may have, which I don't think, I think we learned with George Floyd that the knee on the neck, unacceptable. But some of them might put their knee on your back to try to pin you down. You know, they have there's no like one way that a police officer arrests somebody, because when you're resisting, you're twisted in all kind of, you know, ways. So I think it's important to know that one, when you just put your hands behind your back, you don't go through any of this. And so now that you see your husband is unwilling to be arrested, now you're going nuts. Okay, because now the police have thrown a few punches to try to, you know, maybe knock him out, maybe kind of distort him so that they can get his hands and get control of him. But they have to do what they need to do to get control. And some people don't leave the police any other options. Like, man, we try everything besides our gun. So it's like, what you want? anything that we do in that situation, you're going to see something wrong with it. Wait, don't do that. Well, no taser. Oh, don't hit him. Don't, man. How are we going to get him?
How are we going to get him, man? It was a little heart-wrenching to see, but it's understandable. You explained it perfectly. They have to do, because the police, they're not going to give in. They're not just going to say, okay, sir, get up, forget it. We're not going to deal with this anymore. You're not complying, so we're going to go ahead and leave. That's not what's going to happen. So as a wife, I could see that being like, oh my God, they hit him. But do you see what your husband is doing? He never stopped fighting.
Yeah.
He never stopped fighting.
Never. And he still ain't stopped. I just paused it right here. He's still in the middle of just going, you know? But so this is the part of the video where like the agitation, I just know it's growing, because now that voice of hers, now that he's assaulted the man, he doesn't know what's going to result. See, and this is what we have to do as women. We really have to examine the details. See, when we're dealing with someone who doesn't want to be arrested, we're actually in fear of our lives because we don't know what he's capable of. Right. This isn't a normal arrest. Anyone who is willing to fight with the police is not mentally all the way there. We don't know what this man is capable of. Very hostile situation. Now we have a woman. Her voice has gotten extremely loud, which makes us even more nervous. And so I think as people just looking at it, it's so easy to just judge and say, bad officer. But in that moment, you don't like, there's so much adrenaline and, even confusion that I'm just imagining. I've never been an officer, but I'm just kind of putting myself in the position of an officer dealing with someone that's clearly unstable, and then having people standing by that don't agree. We have one person that tried to jump in, and we can see from our perspective that she didn't jump in to like assault the officer or anything. But what about from the officer standpoint? Yeah. Now I'm in the situation. I'm focused on him. All I know is I feel someone touching my back saying, no. So in that moment, maybe when I watch the body cam footage back, I can see, okay, she wasn't going to do nothing. But in the moment, what do I think in that moment? You know what I mean? So there's all kind of things happening. And I'm watching, it's like, man, I can see why officers be real, like nervous sometimes. Maybe not all of them, because I can think of a couple that were just dead in the wrong. Yeah. But there are situations where people escalate it, and it does make the officers fear for their lives. And this is one of those situations. Right. What do you think?
I agree 100%.
Yeah. 100%. Now, let's see where we are. Hey, Miss Ty. Hey, girl. Let's see. Glenda Smallwood said the wife seemed to have a serious problem. If something had happened to him, I would have blamed her. More for heightening the situation. Yeah, there's blame to go around, blame to him and blame to her as well. Lady Dre says now they're trying to manage him and her. Major fail on her part. Yes. Lisa Oler says no, because the police are very disrespectful no matter what has happened. It's always one in there. We've been doing good, so we ain't gonna get them all. All right now, Miss Lisa. Barbara Hagan says this is hard to hard to look at. Yeah, it's like, because I think when I first saw this video, I'm nervous, like, oh my God, is this going to be another situation where he's getting shot? Because in that moment where they started hitting him and she's yelling, I'm like, okay, this is the moment. This is where something bad is going to happen. So that was like, oh yeah. All right. Andrea says if you're screaming and yelling, then the police are going to match your energy. If there's no fuel, the fire goes out. So if you stay calm, you may get a different result. That's the best way. Nothing is guaranteed, but at least get in alignment with peace if that's what you want, So yes, Andrea. Lisa Oler said the police are very disrespectful. But Lisa, what do you think about the husband in this situation? Do you feel like Any accountability for him? Do you see anything that he did wrong? Hey Bonnie. Hey Bonnie,
Hello.
thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, okay, let's get back in the video.
Don't hit him! 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 Please don't hit him! I'm gonna record this. I'm recording it. I'm recording the whole game. Lawsuit. Don't hit him. Don't hit him. Lawsuit. Don't hit him anymore. Lawsuit.
And I can't breathe.
Don't hit him. You can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't.
Ma'am, he can't breathe because he's out of breath from all that resisting. When you resist, look, if I get in a fight with, I think this is 6 officers here. If I get in a fight with 6 people,
I'm tired.
I'm not going to be able to breathe either.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be clear, sir. You can breathe. You just out of breath. The lungs are on fire. Okay. Huh?
Two different things. You can breathe.
Exactly.
You're just out of breath.
Because I'm looking at his position here. He's laying on the ground. I stopped it as the officer is. I think he's putting the cuffs on, but I didn't see anybody like with their body weight on him.
Yeah,
so
no.
you're really laying flat on your stomach.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, is that the truth? Can you really not breathe?
Yeah, it was one of those, it's the whole George Floyd. Let's do this. But this could have so ended right. And it was just wrong.
Yeah.
And the recorder, Jesus.
Oh my gosh. She
got a lawsuit.
A lawsuit for what? For placing a man under arrest for disorderly conduct? That's the lawsuit?
Right.
What did I miss?
And the officer told her at the end, it's not a lawsuit. I had to laugh because he did. He was like, it's not. It's not a lawsuit. She was like, yes, it is.
Bless her heart. Kaya said now Kaya, come on, Kaya. I know you Kaya.
Well, no. I'm curious to know which part though, because I saw a lot of comments on the actual post too on Facebook. And people were like, the police are wrong. They're wrong. They're wrong. They came in. They were mad. They knew what they were going to do. How do we know that? We don't know. We don't know. They were called and they walk in and they're yelling. Everybody, it's not a calm situation. But I did, like I said, the officer right there standing up. Now he did look like, I said that earlier, that he was on go.
Yeah.
So it looked like he was ready for all the smoke. Like his patience was this little. So, but for everybody else, I don't know. I don't agree with the officers being wrong in this.
I don't see what they did wrong. Now, Kaya, I think you came in a little late, but at the beginning of the video, when he was telling his side of the story to the officers, he did admit that him and the waiter did get into a screaming match. So at that point, he's being placed under arrest for disorderly conduct. So now that you're under arrest for disorderly conduct, and then you resist the arrest, there's going to be some extra force that comes with how we arrest you since you refuse to be arrested. So for those of you who are, because I know some of you come in at different parts of the video, just keep that in mind that in the beginning, he did admit that it got disorderly before y'all got here, hence why the police need to be called in the first place. And let's take accountability, y'all. If I told my husband this, he was watching TV or he was playing this game while I was watching this. And I told him, I'm like, babe, if we were ever in this situation, I would feel like we failed as adults. This is for children. These are situations children should find themselves in. But us as like a married couple in our 30s, we're getting arrested at IHOP and we're not complying with like, are we not adults? Like, I would be humiliated.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. So if me and my husband ever had a disagreement with the waiter, I already know my husband. It's like, oh no, we're going. And we're just leaving peacefully. Yeah. The fact that you guys got into it with the waiter over whatever, and you stayed there until the police got there, meaning y'all's probably still running your mouths. Like, that says a lot. That says a lot about you. Can you not go to the IHOP without being arrested?
Right.
As an adult?
And we're not saying, don't speak up for yourself. If there was something wrong with the order, there was just something wrong with the order. So there's nothing wrong with you telling the waiter that. But we don't know. We were not there to see. No one had on, video how it took place, because the husband did say the waiter started yelling and he yelled back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, and this is where the story is just suspicious to me, because one, if the waiter starts yelling at you, I think either one, I'm going to ask, okay, can we just speak to your manager, or we'll just get up and leave. So if the manager isn't brought out, or if the waiter just like started going nuts out of nowhere, like my husband's going to have the discernment to, we're just going to get out of here. Like, is there a Waffle House down the street that we can just, like, we don't even need to give this place our business. So even as a man, like, I'm expecting you to have that kind of discernment. This is part of why my husband doesn't drink at all, because he's like, it alters your mind, your reality, especially when you're out in public. This is where you want to protect your family the most, when you're out. But you can't. And you know what? Let me not say that. I'm assuming he's drunk. I don't actually know he was drunk.
I don't think he was.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think he was.
3 a.m. at the IHOP, girl.
I think that is how they are.
Okay.
Both of them. That's just my opinion. I think that's how it must have been a real serious conversation in their order, the pancakes something must have really happened with the order.
Yeah.
For the waiter to get out of line, because that doesn't usually happen.
Mm-hmm. Because why didn't that happen? Think about it. There are other people in the restaurant.
Right.
I got a question, like, okay, did the waiter get into it with them? Why is he just getting in? Why aren't the police being called on anyone? So in this situation, which I'm saying, y'all, I don't know if he was drunk. I really just assume that. But when you're the one person in the restaurant that's getting the police called on them, it's 3 a.m. at the IHOP. Why are y'all out at 3 a.m.? The way he's communicating with the officers in the beginning, it kind of makes me look at him like, man, he looks like he done had a few, but we don't know for sure, y'all. So I don't want to put that out there, because I have not been confirmed. But I will say,
I hope he was.
It's better. I was just going to say, I hope you were drunk, because if this is you sober, oh my God, that's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed. Guys, we need to get through this video. There's some more comments that came in. I will read it. After we stop next time. Let's get through some of this.
Breathe! I can't 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 breathe!
No need to use force. Nido, that wasn't even called for.
Right?
That's all abuse of power. That was not even called for.
Punching him in the face.
That was.
I got it on tape. I got it on tape. For what? On the floor, you're punching him in the face.
That's my husband. This is wild. Okay, can I get his wallet though with his credit card in there? She said I can. I don't want to get my husband. I just don't want y'all to shoot him.
I'm not shooting anybody.
Wait, you just punched him.
Of course, because
you just punched him.
You grabbed my
And
gun.
you can punch him. He did not go near your gun. That is a lie. That is a lie. Punched him and tasered him. Punched him and tasered him. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be ashamed.
Let's go home.
I want to see what they're going to do to him.
But why did y'all do that to him?
Go back inside.
That's my husband.
Go back inside.
That's my husband. Don't get yourself in trouble.
I just want to keep recording.
He needs you.
That's fine.
We'll take care of this later. You can have our video. You can take care of this later. Don't get. He's gonna need you. He's gonna need you. Okay. He's gonna need you though. He's gonna need you. Okay. Here. Right.
It's not him.
Oh, okay. It must have been him. He's gonna need you. Let's go.
I gotta get my phone so I can record.
I'm recording. I've been recording the whole thing.
I'm trying to record what they doing. No, that's your number. That's okay. We seen enough. We seen enough. Liz, give her your number.
404
Okay.
312-6531. My name is Liz Toledo.
Okay. That is so much stuff. Come on, let's go.
Looking like 100 cops just for eating pancakes. For eating pancakes.
Let's go. Let's go.
Can I get my phone, sir? Can I get my phone out my car?
Come on, Liz.
Just a minute.
I have no way to continue.
Until everything's secure, we will allow you to do that. Right now,
You can watch me go to my car.
and not right now. Not right now, okay?
I don't want to go, Tori. I want to keep recording this.
Well, we're just gonna be in a car.
Sissy y'all, man.
They won't let me. Can I come out?
I'm gonna take a seat right there if you like. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't say anything, just let us do the investigation. We've got detectives here, we have a sergeant here.
I was trying to calm him down for y'all. The man hit me. He hit me, and I.
Ma'am, you were interfering with the arrest. That's why you got hit. You lucky you're not sitting over there in those handcuffs with him. Okay. Like you're very like I really believe these officers gave her grace. You should be arrested. You interfere. You touched an officer while he's trying to place someone under arrest.
A few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, talking about you hit. First of all, like, didn't nobody hit you? He probably pushed you off and pointed at you like, hey, you better back up. At least that's what I saw.
That's what I saw.
Somebody cocked their hand back and hit. Like, do you see, like, it's like the woman side of the story, especially in the these emotionally charged situations. Like, it's like you can't even really count on it. I'm sitting here watching the video, and you're saying that, like your understanding, your perception of it is so flawed that, you know, I couldn't trust your side of the story. I'm so glad that this woman was filming.
Yeah.
Because if she had not been filming, you know, we would have had y'all side of the story, but it wouldn't be accurate.
Right. Right.
Oh gosh.
Just trying to calm him down.
Thank you for telling me that. And we got more charges. Go ahead and take a seat for me.
Not her husband. Why don't y'all hit her? And I have it recorded.
Y'all hit me because I was trying to help my husband.
Well, I don't know that.
They don't need your help placing your husband under arrest.
Right.
Y'all talking about, I'm just trying to help. We don't need your help. When have we ever needed a wife to help us place another man under arrest? When do police don't need your help?
Right. Right. And you weren't trying to help. That's you were aggravating.
Yeah. It's a contradiction because it's like, okay, you don't want him to be placed under arrest, but you were trying to help us place him under arrest. Is that right?
And you said it perfectly when you said they gave her a lot of grace, because she hopped in the situation and actually physically touched officers a couple of times. And while the adrenaline was pumping, they could have, you know, just out of not paying attention or because, you know, the adrenaline was pumping, they could have hit her. She could have gotten hurt. And they did give her grace by just pushing her and pointing at her on a lot of occasions, telling her, look, stop. You know, with authority, and she just kept going. So yeah, her emotion was misplaced.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah. I think we still got a few more seconds here.
Y'all hit me. Everything is recorded.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Everything is recorded.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Y'all want another lawsuit? Aren't y'all tired of getting sued?
You got hurt for hurting somebody else for no reason. That's why your back is hurt.
Please, go. Are you involved in this?
You got 4 cups on
I'm
me,
involved as a citizen. You guys abuse.
Now he just let us know that I'm getting irritated. I'm being nice about it. You know, he's like, can you just go? Are you involved?
Yeah.
You know, so that showed me that okay, it's not easy to stand, even though I'm just standing here and we have the situation under control now, it's still not easy to listen to you guys. It's not easy. So if it's not easy for me standing here, standing still after the situation's under control, if it still irritates me, how do you think it feels when we're in a hostile situation, we're trying to place them under arrest and you're doing the same thing?
Right.
You know, you don't want to irritate people who have your life in their hands, your husband's, the people that have my husband's life in their hands. I want to play as nice as I can. I want to be as peaceful as I can. I want to be wrong. If that's what it takes to save my husband's life, to get us home safely, I don't care if we got to look like fools out here and we were in the right. I don't care, you know? So irritating people who have your husband's life in their hands, not a smart move. Not a smart move at all.
Not at all.
Let's see.
I do. I've been here the whole night.
We'll take your information. We'll take it over.
Yep. And I'll testify against all of y'all.
Fucking my hand up, bro.
Nardo, just be quiet.
They're hungry for blood. Don't give them your blood.
You black, Nardo. You know what they want to do. Just be quiet. Just be.
They wanted to just arrest him, ma'am. That's what they wanted to do. Like,
And
you
now
know,
she's saying
just
be quiet.
but the unnecessary, and we, like, I get that there are some racist cops, but it's like, you know, how have these officers shown that they are racist? Like, what proof do you have? Because what I see, yeah, they're all white, but they're just showing up doing their job. Like, why just because the person getting arrested is black and the officers are white, that doesn't equal racism.
That's true. That's true.
That doesn't mean that they're racist. Your husband was in the wrong. You were in the wrong. Talking about, don't you know what they want to do? They want to place him under arrest for disorderly conduct. That's what they want to do.
Be quiet, baby. Just be quiet.
You're about to get paid,
And you be quiet. You be quiet.
bro.
Yeah,
Just be quiet.
Okay.
Just be quiet.
They hit me, so don't worry about it. It's all on camera. They put their hands on
I'll
me.
be there.
Y'all put your hands on me. Y'all know this a lawsuit, right? Y'all know this.
Not at
You
all.
push me.
Okay. Are you gonna let me finish?
You push me.
Okay, I told you to get back multiple times. What did
Okay.
you do? You try to get in on that.
Okay. No, no,
It's
no.
on camera. I got it.
No,
It's
yeah,
okay.
it's on camera that
She can't even be quiet. Like, in the moment where, okay, now he's finally addressing you. Like, okay, let me tell you why, you know, we had to push you back, whatever. As he's trying to explain, okay, but no, it's like, we have to control ourselves. We have to have some self-control here.
And did you, I just saw or just realized how she was yelling to the husband, they hit me. They hit me. Now, why would you even want to tell him that? That could have recharged him back up.
Yes.
And then when the officer comes over to you, say, you pushed me. You pushed me. So you told your husband to hit you.
Right.
The math ain't mathing.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That could
No husband wants to
recharge
do that.
him.
Yeah,
like, if I'm sitting on the curb and my wife says that some men hit her, you know, that's all they hear. A man put his hands on my wife, you know, and we already can see that this man is unstable. And then you say that to him in that moment, you know? I mean, it's like, when there's ways, and I think you put this in your comment too, like there's ways that wives can also protect their husbands, you know, not physically, but by not putting them in certain situations, by seeking to de-escalate versus escalate a situation. There's little things that we can do to not put ourselves in harm's way. You know, there's a certain way that I'm not going to behave out here, because I know, okay, what if my husband finds out? Then what is he going to do? And then if he does something, what situation does that place him in? What if the person has a gun or a knife and shoot? You know, this is how women have to think. Like, if you really love and care for your husband, and you're deeply concerned for his life, it'll show up in your actions. I mean, there are some altercations that if I find myself in, I might not tell my husband just for the simple fact that maybe I don't want him to get mad. I'm afraid of what he might do. So if it wasn't that serious, I'm gonna just keep it to myself.
That's
Enough
real.
of this. I'm gonna call my brothers. I'm gonna call my dad. You don't care about their life. You don't care.
Yeah.
You know, you clearly don't care.
Yeah. Pick your battles.
Right.
And yeah, pick your battles.
Okay, I see Miss Ty back here. I'm gonna add you to the stream. Hey, Miss Ty.
Hey, ladies. I just wanted to come up and talk about this what's going on in the chat when they're talking about the officer pushing the young lady. Just so you guys know, like my fiance is a lieutenant in the police department, so he's feeding me the answers to this question. The officer had every right to push her. Once he started to interfere in the arresting the husband or whatever, regardless of whether she's trying to calm him down or trying to aid him. Once the officer keeps telling you to move back, get off, go away, go wherever, and you are aggressing at the officer trying to get to your husband, he has every right to push back. So she has no case, no standing on that.
Yeah. Just like I thought. I mean,
yeah, that's like, for me, that's like it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Kind of sort of thing, for lack of a better term. Yeah, like I said, from the very beginning, when he said, let's go, even though I do believe it was too late, because I do think he was going to get arrested regardless.
Yep.
The reason why, why the police were called.
Yeah.
But when he said, let's go, I just didn't like the way she, pulled away from him. She should have tried to leave when he said, let's go. Even if they weren't allowed to, she should have just handled it better. And of course, we know he should have as well. She's not 100% responsible. It's definitely 50-50. And it's clear they both have issues. They both don't know how to shut up.
Yeah.
Whoever that lady is, she just egging it on. Whoever the lady is doing the recording, she's just.
Oh yeah.
Is that like the friend or somebody? Because
I think she was just there at the restaurant. I don't even think she was a part of their party. I think they came in there just them two. I think she had
more to say about suing them than the husband and wife. Yeah. Okay. That's all I wanted to come up to clarify for the person.
Look, y'all, it is right here. I want to play this back because I see we have some new people that came in, but just look, he tried to get her to leave.
We said leave.
Okay,
go, baby.
Let me tell you real quick.
For what?
Okay, so let me explain to you.
Now, at this point, it's too late. He's saying no, but at least it would have shown that I'm willing to comply with my husband, even though it was too late. So by you saying no, it shows us a lot. It shows us something about your personality, that when in a hostile situation, I don't trust my husband to guide and lead us. Black women always talk about, protect Black women. We need Black men to lead us. They need to be leaders. But here we have a situation where your husband is trying to lead, and you're showing us what you will do when a man tries to lead you.
Right. Yep.
So
she's clearly in her emotions. Her emotions is real heightened, and you know how women get when we get like that. We want to get the last word. We don't care. We just want to have the last say.
Yes. Y'all, there's been a lot of comments here. I feel like it's been a big fight in the chat, and we just missed the whole thing.
Everybody was discussing whether the officer was wrong putting hands on the lady. So I was like, let me get up here, because James was like, he did have a.
Lady or not, she was a threat. She became a threat. Right. She could have been considered a threat at some point. He was already a threat. So I don't like to use this term, but there's no better term that I can use to explain it. Like, women were sometimes emotionally retarded.
Yeah.
So,
you said it right.
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna say it's okay, but I think it's it's like kind of natural because we're emotional creatures.
Yeah.
But like I said, you just have to pick and choose. Anytime you're dealing with the law, I think you need to, and it's because of everything we've seen on TV and the bad quote unquote officers that we've seen in those situations where they're dead wrong. I think across the board, like you said, just because the people are Black and the officers are white, that's not automatically a racial situation. So we just have to learn how to take accountability for things.
Yeah.
They failed as a couple in this situation. And like I said, I do not believe either one of them were drunk. I think this is their daily. I think this is them. Yeah. She would not stop. Like we said earlier, this goes on in the household. I think this goes on in the household.
And if
I was saying that too. She looks like she's very combative, so I can tell, you know,
And if they have a warped perception of this whole police encounter. So as they're trying to prove their innocence with the waiter, how do we? It's like you've already proved your perception is warped here. Now, we weren't there. We didn't witness what happened with the waiter. But what it tells us is that if your perception is warped here, then more than likely your perception is warped as far as what happened with you and the waiter. We can't trust your word because even your word here, you don't even understand why your husband had to be dealt with the way he was dealt with. You don't understand why you were pushed back. You think that the police officers were out of line. So why would we trust what you are saying about this encounter with the waiter? You've proven that your word cannot be trusted.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now I did not appreciate the waiter raising his voice again. That bothered me.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that's why the husband came back and said, and he's still yelling. Like he came back, and then right after that, that's when they pulled him away. But yeah, the waiter was yelling. He was yelling.
Hold on. I want to rewind it. My screen's froze. Sometimes during the stream, my screen will freeze up for like 10 seconds and then go back to normal. And it's still frozen. Okay. Yeah, but I didn't hear that. See, when she's talking to the officers kind of off camera, and okay, she's just talking to the officer and
we lost her.
Yeah. Well, going back to it, interference, yes, the officer does have a right. You interfering in a ongoing investigation or arrest, the officer does have a right to use whatever force he deems necessary at that time. So that's just to answer to what somebody said in the chat.
Cool beans. Yeah. I agree. Hopefully it just doesn't end, in death.
Right.
Because whatever they deem, there she is.
I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So my computer has never done that before. It just shut the whole thing down. I'm like, oh my God,
they don't want you to tell the truth.
Girl, hold on. Let me just get the video back up because we had a few more seconds.
Okay.
Share video file.
Show some respect so I can.
Okay, let's just take this to the end.
Egging him on, that's only gonna make it work. Officer Mac,
that's
badge
my husband. I've been
3559.
with him 20 years. I know what that doesn't egg him on.
Okay.
What's your name again?
Officer Mac, MAACK, badge 3559, Marietta Police Department. Okay? What you're doing right now is not gonna help the situation at all.
35959.
3559.
Yeah. It couldn't be.
Exactly.
Did you hear what
said it right?
Why you so worried about his badge number? He's trying to give you some advice. It's like what you're doing right now, it's not helping the situation. You're making it worse.
That's your number?
My badge number.
Badge number, okay.
Why don't you just let him go?
Can't do that.
They don't have to.
He's under an arrest. That's what. Like, what are we this? Are we this terrible? What? She said, as he's in handcuffs, right? He's on his way to jail. Why can't you just let him go? Are we 5 years old? That's something like if I was 5 and I saw my dad being arrested, in my 5-year-old mind, I would say, why can't you just let my dad go? Right? Because I don't have an understanding of how life works, right? So it's such an innocent question. But when you are 40 something, 30 something, it just, it's just, it's my, it's, what?
Right.
Why can't we just let him go? He's under arrest. What do you mean?
Right. That's what I said in the beginning. Did they think the officers were just going to say, it's okay? Everybody can go home. We can't get him under control. So yeah, that's not even being realistic.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing, but it's really not funny because it's situations like this where people die. So if this had been some other officers that, were racist and had, cruel intention every time they clocked in for work, this could have went. He could have been leaving in a body bag. And that's the point I was trying to make to everybody while they were like, these officers. And I'm like, okay, we clearly watch different videos.
Yeah. They be having bad days too, y'all. Like, y'all just, okay. Let's finish this video.
What did he do? What did he do? What are you charging him with?
Ongoing investigation. That's all there is to it.
Write Coleman down too. I did. I got him down, Coleman. Because he's the one of them pushed me, and I was just.
With confidence. Badge 6532. Because I don't care. You're not going to win this lawsuit. Did you get it? I'll write it for you.
Right.
Sorry.
I wasn't doing anything. That's my husband. And they put.
Okay. So that's where the video ends. Y'all, overall thoughts. We're over our hour here. Taquana, I want to start with you. Just give us your overall synopsis of the video and what can wives learn from watching this?
The familiar term, we got to do better. That's the only thing that I can come up. We got to do better. And when you know better, starts with knowing, you do better. That's the goal. We just got to do better. And I know we all get in situations. No one is perfect. We've all handled situations probably incorrectly or not wisely. But in certain situations, you can put yourself in it and you can infinitely say what you would and would not do. Yeah. I know for a fact, for me, I'm not going in on the police. That's not going to be any way that Taquana goes out or she goes to jail. That's just not going to happen. And anybody with me, if I have the control that I think that I have, they're not going to go either. So whoever I'm with, not on my watch. So we're going to calm this situation down and we're going to go and leave and go home peacefully.
Right.
We just got to do better. That's my overall synopsis of it.
And what can, and you might have kind of answered this, but what do you think watching this video, like what can wives and women who want to be wives, what can they pull from this video to apply to their lives?
Probably using wisdom. Like you said you learned something from this, even though you weren't in this situation, you saw what you could have done differently. I think sometimes silence, if they both would have exercised the right just to be silent, they could have did that too, but their adrenaline was pumping. So I think sometimes we just have to be still and just be quiet. I think I said that I think I probably said shut up, but just be quiet in certain situations. And pick and choose when you're going to use that right to prove your point. Because when it comes to the police, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose in that moment. Now, I'm not saying later you do your due diligence and file a report, do whatever you need to do on that end.
Yeah.
But for all women, just protect your husbands like you expect them to protect you.
Yeah.
Your significant other, your fiance, whoever it is. Show them that same courtesy.
Absolutely. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. What about you, Ms. Ty? Overall, what do you think about the video, and what advice would you give to women who are married and women who want to be married? What could they apply to their lives off of watching that video?
Well, right out the gate, one thing that sticks out is, and we talk about this all the time on our platforms, women don't know when to shut up. It's no way to put it. There's no way nice to put it. You just don't know when to shut up.
Yes.
And as we're looking at the video, the husband was even trying to comply with the officer was saying and leave, yet she couldn't what? Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear that she, like you said earlier, that she doesn't trust her husband to
Yeah.
lead her out of the situation. Instead, she wanted to take over for whatever reason, like we were saying, the emotions and the adrenaline pumping and all that. But in light of the climate that we live in today, with the police officers and law enforcement and government and things, why would you want to put yourself in a situation where, now just what if those officers was one of those racist officers, one of those bad seed officers, instead of just tackling him down and arresting him or whatever, they would have shot him.
Yeah.
And tased you. It would have been a different situation. So we were just talking about that on our show with the officer. Sometimes we don't take a moment and stop to think, just what if that person is having a bad day, and I am that person that's going to piss them off, and then next thing you know, I'm hurt. And as women, not us. I'm not talking about us ladies on the panel, but women out here today, they just don't know their place anymore.
Yeah.
They just don't know. And you can even take it kind of literal on the video. Who was standing in front?
Good point.
She was standing in front of him.
On the front line.
On the front line. Out of order already. He should have been in front talking with the officers, and she should have been behind him.
Come on. You better.
When he walked out the door, she would have been following right behind him.
Yes.
But instead, she was out in the front, and he was following her lead, and that was got him arrested. That's all I did.
That's such a good point. Such a good point. And to your point about like, what if the officer was having a bad day? Just the fact that you got the Black woman running her mouth and getting loud. What if for the officers, what if that's one of their pet peeves? And maybe we would have let y'all go, but y'all just need to get out of here. But she just up here running her mouth. You know what? Never mind. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just take them to jail. It could be little things that take them over the edge. And that's why I say, as a woman, like our power, we hear it a lot. The power is in your femininity and being silent and being soft, because just like your anger and hostility could be the thing to take the officers over the edge, it could also be the thing to keep your husband from getting hurt or arrested, because your wife is just so lovely. You know what? Y'all get out of here and just don't let it happen again, But when you're smiling and when you're like kind of begging, pleading, please, we don't want trouble. It was just a misunderstanding, just, not being so against the officers, that could be the thing. It could be your lucky day, So what we do in situations, it can contribute to the win or the loss. Really quick, because I've been neglecting the comments. I just want to, it's long, y'all. Sorry, guys. Sir Hale says peace and respect to the chat. Thank you so much, Sir Hale. Tamika Peak says, I can't believe she was behaving like this. Oh my, she would have been arrested in Ohio. Girl, she would have been arrested anywhere acting like that. Lisa, girl, what you talking about? She said in different states, they handle it in a different way. They could be mean or they could be nice. Mean or nice. I mean, you could still get arrested, nice officers arrest people and mean officers arrest people. Sir Hill, now guys, this is a man here. He says, ladies, rule number 1, if your man is being arrested, don't make matters worse. It's coming from a man, okay? Like, I'm saying it as a woman, but we have a man also agreeing that don't make matters worse if your husband's being arrested. It should be common sense to us, ladies, but I guess we all come from different backgrounds. Some of us, we weren't raised the same. Some of us were raised in hostile environments. Some of us, from the hood, so maybe we didn't grow up with the same tools as the next woman, but you can still learn from other people's mistakes. If you're listening to this and that's your story and you weren't really taught, it's still your responsibility to learn, because if you get in a situation like this, the police don't care how you grew up. They don't care if what you were taught, what you weren't taught, what you missed. If you break the law, if you agitate them, the outcome is going to be the outcome. So it's our responsibility. We have to learn. We have to acquire knowledge. We have to be responsible for our actions. Widow 21 says, in what alternate reality are we living where if a police officer was disrespectful, he can no longer place me under arrest? Come on. Hold on, that's got to be examined, that line of reasoning. If the police officer is disrespectful, that means he cannot place me under arrest. Does that make any sense? Whether I'm nice or disrespectful, I'm still going to do my job. You still are under arrest. You still are under an arrest for disorderly conduct. Whether you perceive me as nice or mean, I don't care how I walk through the door with my hand on my belt, like, or if I walked in just normally. Regardless, what you did is what you did. You still have the police called on you, and we still have to do our job. So, good point, Widow. And Kaya says, Kaya, keep pushing them. That officer should not be putting his hands on anyone. That's the problem. I bet that officer also put his hands on his wife. Kaya, come on. But I don't want to put that out there. Kaya, come on. I know you. Kaya, are you trolling us? Are you just now, y'all? I was on a few channels.
Yeah, she's serious. She's dead serious.
I don't believe it. Miss Kaya, no, I do not believe. Kaya. Okay, Kaya. Okay, she said he pushing them. That officer should not be putting his hands on anyone. How they're gonna place the husband under arrest if they don't put their hands on him? How do you put someone under? Kaya, can you show us how to place someone under arrest, how to restrain someone without using your hands? Is that possible? Am I crazy?
And how are they supposed to stop someone from physically interfering? Because that's what the wife was doing.
Right.
So the husband was clearly going to be put under arrest from the beginning.
He was physically interfering, not just with words. That's why they had a right to do what they wanted to do, push her out the way.
But I'm curious to know what the police officer had done. All of the officers that were there, when they came in the restaurant, what is the expectation? I'm curious to know that. If the husband and the wife had acted the same way they were acting, what were the officers supposed to do? Were they supposed to just turn around and walk out and be like, they're too hostile, so we're just gonna leave? Like, what? Because that's what I was trying to say in the comments. So what was supposed to happen in your perfect world of this situation? What do you think the officers should have done that they did not do?
And even when they give you the answer, it's not going to be the right answer, because I've seen situations where people in the comments will say, well, why did he have to shoot him? He could have just used his taser. Because sometimes
ladies, she said de-escalation. If you watch the video, they tried to de-escalate and they escalated even more after the officers tried to de-escalate. So then what should have happened after that?
Wait, is that a new comment she put up?
Yeah, she said de-escalate. De-escalation. So the officers tried to de-escalate the situation by telling them to go ahead and leave. But wife wanted to keep on arguing and fussing and getting combative. So if the officers is trying to de-escalate the situation, and the people wanted to continue to escalate the situation. What was the officer supposed to do?
You know what, Miss Ty, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna bring the video back up, and we'll see it. Let's see if we saw that. Hold on. Hold on. What is? Why can't I add it?
After you show this clip, I'm gonna go ahead and go off.
Okay. Yeah, we were actually about to end it, but Miss Kaya, okay. I take it as a I just want to fast forward to this one part. Hold on.
Okay. Respect. You show some respect.
Okay, so let's go to the part where he's about to be arrested.
I think that's when he came back. Right there. That's when he turned back around and he said he's still yelling.
Okay.
Finish so you can hear the whole conversation. He's still hollering.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Why? Ain't nobody do nothing.
Why y'all doing that?
Ain't nobody do nothing.
He didn't do anything.
Hold on.
Nardo, just let him.
Kaya, are you talking about at this point where he's trying to talk to her and he's got his arm out and is holding her back?
Right. That is absolutely his right to do that. That's absolutely in their policy to do that. If that's what she's talking about.
Okay, she's saying let it play through. Maybe that's not the part. Hold on.
Do what they gonna do. Hey, let them do what they gonna do.
I'm not resisting. Why you doing all that?
Why
you doing all that, man?
And tell him I'm just trying to calm him down.
I know what they
Listen. Please, can you just go tell him to stop? Nardo.
Is that what you're talking about?
And let's be clear, officers should not have to go through all of this.
Absolutely within policy. They did nothing wrong.
She's saying keep going.
There's nothing else to see though, because it starts from the beginning. You can't skip all of what happened in the beginning to get to a point later on. You have to go from where it started. Because there's no de-escalation from this part on.
Right.
This de-escalation is past.
That one. So
y'all,
she just said that one.
Yeah. So she's talking about that. So
yeah, the officer was in his right to do that. He was absolutely correct. She should not have went over there, put her hands in between the officers, which is deemed touching the officers. Mm-hmm. She was wrong.
Yeah. Kaya.
Point blank, period.
Girl, no. Because he tried to keep her. Remember, he was holding her back. He was trying to keep her around the corner, right?
Exactly.
But we saw that they were struggling. So then he jumps in to help them. And what does she do? She comes right back from where he tried to hold her to.
Exactly.
Gets involved. So now he has to push her back. Now, before I tried to reason with you, and you can see him talking like, ma'am, nope, stay back, stay back, stay back. He goes to help. She comes back after he just told him to stay back. So Kaya.
And try to get in between. Yeah. She
didn't do what she was told. The officer to warn her to stay back. He was very polite to her. She didn't listen to him. So now it leaves him no other choice. But now I got to push you back. Okay.
Exactly.
And what do I need to do next? Do I need to hit you? Do I need to put you under? Exactly. Like, it continue to get worse as she continues to not follow that order.
And then you have to
look at it. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, police officers should not have to do this.
Thank you.
To get you to comply.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't like to hear that because it's like, we have rights too, but you're wrong in some instances as well. So I've never agreed with police officers having to throw you down and 3 of them having to come and just stop. You're not going to win. So what are you doing besides running out of breath?
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. So guys, I'm gonna give my closing thoughts real quick, then we're gonna end it. Women, we, like Taquana said, that we have to do better. We have to do better. We have to make better decisions, and we have to have self-control. We have to.
Period.
We have to control our actions, because our actions could result in the ending of our husband's life. So we have to seek peace. This is what makes women, This is a part of what makes women beautiful, and you don't really see this in a lot of women today. That beauty, that feminine, that beauty that's within femininity. You know, that softness, being gentle. Um, you know, men should be like uncomfortable with handling you that way. But the way the wife was behaving, like, it's nothing for me to push somebody like you. You're in your masculine. You're proving that you're one of us. But when you're soft and when you're gentle, you know, you almost kind of worry about the women behind you because you don't want nothing to happen to them, even though you have a hostile situation in front of you. You don't want to harm women and children. But when you are masculine, just like the men that's on the floor right now, you know, you can get handled any kind of way. So I don't think women understand why they're not being treated as gentle flowers, because you're not behaving like a gentle flower. You're behaving like a lion, you know, and you're agitating. So that's a tip, ladies. You know, if you don't want to have the same complaint that she had about, oh, they pushed me, they hit me, they did this, they did that. Don't do things that are going to get you pushed and hit. And the husband, I mean, shame on him. But there are husbands out there like that. You know, some of you that are watching, y'all may be married to somebody like this. What are you going to do if you find yourself in this situation? You're going to behave like him and possibly help to get him arrested or killed, you know? So our beauty and our power, it all lies within our softness, how gentle we are, how kind we are, how we're able to hold our composure even in these hostile situations. You know, think about your husband's life. And if you have kids, think about them. If something happens to him, how is that going to affect my children at home? Value their life first over being right. That was what, you know, Kevin Samuels, and some of y'all might not like him, but that was the sign. That was the N in sign language. It was shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Like, we need to be right. And some of us still struggle with this. I struggle with it sometimes, y'all. You know, the same medicine that I give, I have to take. I'm not perfect either. But I'm working on it. So we all need to work on this. We see in the video, the woman exhibited the N in sign. She needed to be right. And she ended up, you know, agitating the situation. So just keep that in mind. That's what I got out of the video. And that's the advice that I would give to wives. Please don't do this. This is what you don't do, to the title of the video, what to not do when your husband's being arrested. This is what you don't do. I want you to do the opposite of this woman. Hopefully, a lot of y'all got mature husbands and he wouldn't put y'all in a situation like this. But if you do, you need to do the opposite. You never know where your softness, where your gentleness, you never know how that can turn the tides of a situation. You know, so those are my closing thoughts. I want to thank you, ladies, for joining. Taquana, thank you so much. I'm so glad, girl. I was scrolling through them comments, I saw yours, and I'm like, okay, what's her? Hold on, what's her social media? I need to get in contact with her. So I just find it so funny how me and you, linked up. Like, you see that one comment, and you're like, oh, facts. Oh my goodness. So. Guys, I had to autumn. Oh, wait, hold on. Somebody just came in. We have Officer Nathan Daly. I'm gonna add him to the stream. Taquana, I know you said you gotta go. I would love it if you could stick around, but I gotta get this take on.
This is going to be good.
Nathan, how are you? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm so sorry. I wanted to get on early. I was dealing with some BBMs is what I'm gonna start calling them.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what's the BBM?
Bitter black men.
Oh.
You said what?
Were you on another panel?
Yeah. So some people were kind of disrespecting a friend of mine. He's a content creator on this space, and of course, I hate the division. I hate to see, black men kind of coming after other black men who are trying to do something positive. And their arguments were weak. And so I just had to go up there and, say a couple things. And I didn't realize it was going to be like this when I started YouTube. I'm understanding now, and I've always understood. I've always looked at the problem as it's both men and women causing an issue, a cultural problem within our community. But I think it's so weird how it just seems like the black men in this space feel like they're just walking gods, and the women are just falling apart and aren't worth a damn. And I have to correct them, say y'all niggas ain't worth a damn either. Like, so let's
Okay,
not get it.
now
Let's
hold
not
on.
get it
Well,
twisted.
we gotta watch the language. I
Oh,
know.
I'm sorry, love. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's just on this stream, I wanna keep it
Keep it
clean.
clean.
Yeah, yeah.
Successfully clean. Yes, absolutely. I'm sorry. The frustration's still upon me. I have to shake it off.
I understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
it's
So
just disappointing.
despite all that, Nathan, you still made it here. So
Facts.
I'm so grateful to have you here. Are you familiar with the? Did you see any of the video that we showed?
I missed when I say I missed every. I know you guys don't like doing the live stream. So when I not live stream, the long streaming. I'm so used to doing 3-4 hours. I'll be thinking everybody be on that. So I. No, what were you guys speaking on? I love the thumbnail and I love the title. I kind of know just the gist of it, but I did not get a chance to see the video that you streamed in reference to the topic.
So just an overview of it. Now this happened in Marietta, and that's where I live. So it's like it happened in my neighborhood. But at the IHOP, there was a couple there. They got into it with the waiter. The police were called on them. And when the police got there, I guess they were getting both of their sides of the story. They were placing the man under arrest. And we were talking about the wife's behavior as her husband was being placed under arrest. She was yelling at the officer, just being an agitator. She even, I believe she touched an officer. She was like trying to get involved as they were trying to arrest him. Like, no, don't do that. You can't hit him. You can't use your tape. You can't do this. You can't do that. And you had the woman filming. She was agitating the situation. She was yelling. So the reason I wanted to do this, a review on this video is because I wanted to show wives what you should not do when your husband is being arrested. And I wanted to get your take on it because when I put myself in the position of the officer, I think, man, if I'm in a hostile situation and I'm trying to arrest somebody and I have agitators on the side yelling, that's going to agitate me. And I may even do things in the arrest that I wouldn't have done if I wasn't so agitated by them. That also angers me and makes me mad too, along with the man that's resisting the arrest, So I wanted to kind of verify that through you and get your take on how in that situation, how a wife makes the situation worse.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. And hello to everyone on the panel. I'm sorry. I didn't get a chance to say hello to you guys. So yeah, you're absolutely correct. It does escalate. And not only that, officers at the scene can take you or look at you as a potential threat. You are a threat, because what tends to happen a lot of times is a woman will often, if the woman calls on the husband or on the boyfriend or whatever, the partner, a lot of times it's done depending on there's a multitude of situations, but I've witnessed situations where they have had a change of heart in the moment when the arrest is about to take place, and then they want to assault the officer or jump on the officer's back or grab the officer's belt or things like that, because there's a underlining assumption that police are supposed to handle women with kid gloves, and that's not accurate. A woman is just as dangerous as a man. Physical strength is one thing, but being dangerous is being dangerous. Women do get shot by the police as well. If an officer sees a woman as being a significant threat, he's going to address it, or she's going to address it with whatever force is necessary to subdue that threat. And so there have been times when women have brought pans, knives, guns to try to defend the husband who have already assaulted the wife. We've had officers lose their life behind in a domestic because of the woman killed the officer for trying to actually apprehend the husband. So these things, so women have been created a danger for police officers in that moment, which is why we always separate the both parties when we're on the scene to keep them from witnessing any type of force that might be necessary to arrest the other. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, as people act out of emotion, and that emotions are reckless. They can be very reckless when logic is absent. And so, yeah, it's very dangerous. And matter of fact, Wednesday, I'll be doing a show on the incident involving Styles P, the rapper in New York.
I saw that. Oh, Nathan, you know I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, him and his wife, were filming an altercation, and she was in the officer's face as well. She was calling, "Oh, you hoe, you this, you a B, and all this." She was throwing all these insults, but they were so close to the officers. Me personally, take that as a threat. I've arrested just people who had family members that were present, and they got too close. I would push them, and then I would warn them, if you get close again, I'm going to arrest you as well. And so there's a certain boundary that we need to make sure we're mindful of when officers are doing their job, because if an officer can justify in the heat of the moment, they don't know if you're armed, they don't know what your relationship is to the person that's being arrested. They can actually justify in considering you a threat, and therefore using a force. So you didn't commit a crime, but by you being too close, interfering, if you're in arm's reach of a police officer, you're too close.
Yeah. Now, Nathan, really quick, because Taquana, she mentioned she had to go. I just wanted you to hear a little bit of what Nathan had to say. Taquana, before you leave, did you have a question for Nathan?
No, and the little that he said, he pretty much said what we said.
Yeah.
So he kind of confirmed some things we had already said. So I wish he would have been here to see the whole video. It would have been nice to get his input, but I think we're all on the same page. I think we would have came outside of the comments. I think the panel, we would have been on the same page.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can, Taquana, if you have to go, or not.
No, don't leave, Taquana. Don't leave.
I have my podcast. We're launching my podcast tonight. So
congrats.
You have to go. Yeah.
Channel and the link I can subscribe. So
yeah.
You can go to the website. It's flawedforpurpose, all one word.com. And all of the social media links are at the bottom of each page.
Awesome. That's
the quickest way I can tell you to go and subscribe to all of them.
Is it a stream like this, Taquana?
Yes. So it'll be streamed on YouTube and Facebook at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. I need to come and check you out after this. Okay. Well, look, go, because I don't want you to be late.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun. Thank you so much. I want to be on again anytime you have something. And then likewise, I want you to come on and see me too. Nice meeting you, Nathan. Red Vibes.
All right. We'll be in touch, Taquana.
Huh?
I said we'll be in touch.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you. Bye, loves.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so Nathan, one question I did want to ask you was we kind of understand now like what a wife shouldn't do, but if a husband if he's being arrested or if he's about to be arrested, if it's one of those situations, what should a wife do in that situation if she wants to de-escalate? Peace, what should she do?
The best thing she could do is keep her husband calm. Keep him calm. Record. I think recording is always a beautiful tool. You don't have to. Stay close enough that you respect the officer's distance, but then also be close enough to where you can catch everything and hear everything as well. Because unfortunately, you do have some officers that don't play by the rules, right? And so you want to make sure that safety is there, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're staying safe. One of the things that I've seen is even when officers are wrong, or whether they're right, if you lose control of yourself, then you only help the officer's argument. And I've seen cases where Black men have been disrespected by police officers, white and Black. And then you start to dive into an ego, issue then, right? You start interfering with a man's pride and his ego. And if a man doesn't have good control over that, then next you know you're having a battle between the authority and then the individual. The individual will always lose in the moment. And so that's never the place to fight the battle when you have an officer that's unprofessional. There's a way to do it properly to where you can stay safe. And as women, what I've noticed sometimes is they could be just as out of control as the man. And so if you have two people who are out of control, then it defeats the purpose. And I've seen situations where the man is out of control and the woman is calm and she's collected and she's able to calm him down or coach him into being cooperative. And then I've seen situations where the women weren't able to coach their husband or their boyfriend into being more cooperative for their safety. I think the best thing a woman can do is do her best to calm her spouse down so that he doesn't create a bigger issue out of the situation. Because at the end of the day, with a police encounter, you want to survive it, and complying is the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I can see that. And in the video, she was yelling and she claimed she was trying to like get him to calm down. She was like, just don't, oh my God, just don't, so I see like two ways that women can help. And I see, being more calm, meaning like you don't need to yell.
Right.
You can just simply talk to them, because I played it back in my mind like, man, what would I do if we were in this situation? Even though I'm proud to say my husband would never. Okay. But hypothetically, if he was, I would think, man, I'd probably just try to, bend down a little bit like, babe, just calm down. Just calm down. Put your hands behind your back. I'm going to come get you. Just don't worry about it. Just don't fight. There's no need to, would just agitate him. And, it can also agitate your husband a little bit because, he hears his wife like screaming, so that doesn't soothe or calm him, and I would think that this would be common sense for women. But I also saw women in the comments, defending her, so I'm like, okay, so maybe this clearly is not common thinking. So I think that's important to pinpoint is you could be thinking that you are trying to de-escalate the situation, but you're screaming, so it's like now we have to kind of tackle how to properly attempt to de-escalate it. But yelling is not a part of de-escalation in this situation. He needs to hear your calm voice because that's what's maybe going to make him calm.
Yeah. Asking the officers if you can assist helps. I've had family members say, can we just help? And they are calm because they understand how volatile the situation can get. Mm-hmm. I've had strangers help and just say, hey, can we just help? Sir, just relax. Just give him your hand. Don't resist, sir. Just chill, brother. Just chill. And that's how, even with the Styles P example, Styles P was like, Ma, just put your hands behind your back. Just relax, just chill. Then he would go and then start berating the officers and insulting them. So it's like, are you here to? You don't know why she's being arrested. You saw her get slammed, which was appropriate use of force based on the situation. Make sure she's safe, and then find out the information before you start, accosting the officers. Right? What happens though? The reason why people are so angry, the reason why, and in that video that you have, and I haven't seen it yet, the reason why she was probably like that is because the perception of police, the perception that our community has of the police, the perception that people have of the police will actually influence how you address the police. So if you go around thinking the police are just harassing people, Black people, and things of that nature, then your response is going to be reflective of how you feel. If you don't respect the police, your reflection is going to be based on that. If you have respect for the police, your reaction is going to be reflective of that. And so the reason why I preach all the time on my channel, the power of accurate information and talking about real things, is because in our community specifically, we lead with a lot of fear mongering and propaganda. And so if you're pushing a lot of fear about police and police encounters, you're going to respond and react out of fear. And that's usually with a high, uncontrolled emotional response. And so that can be dangerous, because I've arrested family members for trying to prevent me from arresting a family member. I ended up tasing a father for trying to prevent me from arresting his son, and took both of them to jail. And so it's one of those things where that is a problem. It's absolutely a problem. Being calm also makes you not look like a threat to the officers as well, which is also just as important.
Absolutely. Well, Nathan, I want to thank you for coming by. I'm at 1 hour and 50 minutes, and I committed a major sin on my channel, y'all, because I don't do the long streams. But I thank you, because you gave us what we really needed. It's one thing for me to say it, but when an officer verifies that to be true, now people can see, okay, clearly it's true, and so for all of you guys that are watching, thank you for staying on. And, let's just learn a valuable lesson. We want to protect our husbands. They protect us maybe more so physically. So we can't, because we're weaker than men. So we're not going to protect them physically. But there are certain ways that we can behave that can preserve their life,
Absolutely.
So we don't want to irritate the men who have our husband's life in their hands. We want to handle it as delicately as possible. We're supposed to be women here. We're not supposed to be the men. We're supposed to be women. We're supposed to use our softness, our femininity to de-escalate a situation, so just let us. And so I've already said this before, but for the new people that came in, it's not to bash the woman in the video, but sometimes we're going to learn from other people's mistakes. And that's what I do. I look at people acting a fool, resisting arrest, trashing restaurant. It's just a constant reminder of how I don't want to behave. I don't want to be perceived a certain way. So look at situations like this the same way. I want to do the opposite. I want to do better than what she did in that video. So it's something to think about. But thank you, God.
Absolutely. I was going to say, can you send me that link? Because I'll probably use that as well as an example for tomorrow's stream. I think that'd be a great piggyback to jump on it. And I think I'll just say this in closing, because you mentioned a very valuable thing. And a woman's strength and value to a man is that she has great influence over his psychological and emotional health. I feel like that's the strength, right? And when you think about emotional and psychological, that's where men really, really thrive the best, when you have a woman who's uplifting you in those areas. And so, so shout out to you for putting that information out, because that's absolutely true. So thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to speak. I really appreciate it. And always, you're always putting out great topics to discuss. So shout out to you.
Thank you as well. Now, look, I did edit the clip, because I edit out the cuss words in iMovie. I did an amazing job. I edited out 3 F-bombs and the SH word. So you can either have the link or you can have the edited version if you like. You have options.
Yeah. No, I'm down for the you send me the raw. I like the raw.
Okay, got it.
No, I don't mind. That stuff don't bother me. I just, I came over here just heated after that other discussion. We got a black man, we got to do better. So, but that's definitely a good conversation for another time. So, Red Lipstick Vibe, shout out to you, sis. Shout out to you.
Yes. Thanks for coming by. Somebody was in the chat was acting up.
I hate when I miss that.
They always acting up. They always got something to say. It's always a couple of them. But look, we were in the high, like 97% range of people being on their best behavior. So I think it's
that's what's up.
All right, guys. Well, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for joining the panel. I'm gonna
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
You too.
All right.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for staying with us. I thought this was a really good topic. I enjoy, having people on, giving their perspectives, because every now and then, they say something that you just didn't think about, Thank you guys. Let me see. Kaya, what are you talking? Okay. I'm still way up here. And there's so many comments, y'all. I'm sorry. I've been neglecting. Lisa, you done came around now. Now Lisa's saying you're just doing your job. Okay, well, look, I'm glad you come around and see it differently now. Okay, here it is. Hey, Miss Skinny. She said another banger, Ashley. Thank you. Thank y'all. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. We're coming up on 2 hours now. Thank you guys for joining. Join me every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be discussing different topics just pertaining to being a wife. Sometimes we're going to examine women's bad behavior, just to give ourselves really good reminders on how we don't want to be. So please join me every Tuesday, 7 p.m. right here on this channel. If you like the content, please like the video, subscribe, and share the video, because it helps me to get into the algorithm, to get my content in front of other people as well. So thank you guys for joining me, and have a great night. See you next week.